Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. And ladies and gentlemen, first time in a week I've been able to say this. We got the squad in the building.
Yep.
Hey, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Y'all have no idea how in my brain I have to be like, not the Chicago Bears podcast. And on the Chicago Bears podcast, I have to be like, not the Windy City Breeze. When I do Locked On, I'm going to miss Locked On. When I do Locked On, I got to be like, not the Windy City Breeze. It don't matter. But, hey, man, we got a lot to get into on today's show. Good to be back in here with the boys as always. The man who's normally running the ones and twos, C-Dub, is in the building. And, of course, Mr. Meaty himself, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan JC. You weren't as meaty while I was gone. I don't, is it something about me? I feel like I should be concerned.
No, man, I know I was a little depressed when you left, so I didn't eat as much.
You lost the weight over there, huh?
Should I leave?
I dropped down a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe you should leave. Yeah, maybe it's good for my health. I don't know.
I want you to be healthy, dog. Like, don't just eat steaks because I'm around. What does that mean for me? I have no answers on any of this. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. Hey, we got a lot to get into on today's show because we are going to run through our top 10 key players for the 2024-2025 season, of course, for the Chicago Bears. I want to go through and really look at who we believe is going to make the biggest impact on the team moving forward. Because listen, the one thing that we can say is there is a lot of good names on this team, but that does not mean that they are all equally important. And I think that is why this is a good topic for the show. As always, man, if you have not done so, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review, man. Y'all know what to do. I'm going to get Sue Young on y'all real quick. I need y'all to do me a favor.
Oh, yeah.
Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Push the goddamn button. Every time I just want that other part in there. I just want that other part in there. You know what I mean? That one emphasis in the movie is just so phenomenal. But yeah, push the goddamn. Oh my goodness, Jesus, sweet. What Nova say? Said, what type of Ron Burgundy mentality? He missed your mustache.
Shut up, Nova.
Hey, man, it is what it is. Let's jump into the topic at hand, man. The top 10 Chicago Bears for the 2024 season. Let's start it off with number 10. I'll start off with mine because I think mine is going to shock a lot of people. At number 10, I'm going to go with a off-season acquisition that the Chicago Bears made. It is not to say that this player is not important. There are 53 players on this roster. He is one of the top 10 most important. But I think in the long run of the success of the Chicago Bears, he is the least important, even to this season, because there may be people who end up taking his spot as important on this team. I'm starting it off with Keenan Allen, boys. 2023 had a phenomenal season, 108 receptions, 1,200 receiving yards, 11.5 yards per reception, end up getting 7 touchdowns. Did this in, I believe, 14 games last season, end up missing a chunk of games and said he could have come back to play, but, we were getting our heads kicked in, so what the heck am I coming back to play for? So, with all that being said, to me, I look at Keenan Allen as the least important of the top 10 because most of us want Rome Odunze to get his spot. And I think that if you're talking about the long term of this, you look at Keenan Allen as one of those guys that if he gives you that same 2023 contribution, none of us are going to bat an eye at it. But if at the end of this season, he starts to look at you in a Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson kind of light, we're all going to go, yeah, all right, and move on. And you're going to get the compensation pick. And so when we're talking about importance, I think for this season, yes, he is an important piece. He's somebody on third down you can't talk about not utilizing. But if we're talking about the most important players on this team, to me, I think that Keenan Allen brings up the rear of this. And again, this is not to slight what he has done. It's not to slight what he is going to do with the Chicago Bears, because I know people are going to take it that way. It is to say that he is important to this season. I think that when it comes to third down, when it comes to needing a guy, just be like, I don't know what to do. I'm a rookie quarterback trying to figure this. Oh, Keenan Allen, that's a phenomenal piece to just sling the ball into there right there. It's great to have him on the team. But when you talk about the success by the end of this season, I think most of us would hope that Rome Odunze is in that spot.
That's a good pick. Yeah, Keenan Allen. Yeah, I didn't have him in my top 10, but I definitely think that that's valid as far as what you said in terms of him being important, being able to kind of be that third option potentially, or maybe the second option, that hybrid, but that safety net in case Caleb gets in trouble. We know Keenan Allen is a sure hand. He knows how to get open, and he also has that veteran experience. He's the most veteran on that wide receiver group, so he also can be able to input wisdom and also be able to help the players when they are facing adversity and things of that nature. So, yeah, I do think he's an important piece to this team.
Dub, who you got at 10?
Number 10. So, for me, I was kind of teeter-tottering between a couple of guys, but I landed on this is because of the fact that I think the most important thing going into the season, because we've seen the defense do what the defense do, but the offensive line has to be key.
Did you just Ray Charles us right there? I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby.
It did sound like it.
I'll make it do what it do.
I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby.
Tevin Jenkins.
Tevin Jenkins, a little low for me, but all right, let's hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he is crucial. He's crucial to the stability of this offense, the offensive line, especially when it comes to his pass protection and how strong he is as far as helping develop the other players and providing that protection that our quarterback needs. I can't emphasize enough how we still feel like we're not really getting everything we need for this offensive line to protect Caleb. So guys that are kind of used to the schemes, who's been in the lineup since last year, we need Tevin Jenkins to stay healthy, and we need him to step up and be able to protect Caleb and show the rest how you do it. But that's why I got him at number 10 as far as most important players.
I like Tevin on there, even though I said a little low. As I look through my list, I don't even have him on my list, but I like Tevin's name. Got a little low for me, but I didn't name him.
Yeah.
I like Tevin's name on there. I guess the reason as I went through and looked through it, right? The reason why I don't have Tevin on my list is because not that these guys aren't important. This is like the whole Montez Sweat not being named a captain thing, right? We all know how important Montez Sweat is. It's okay that he's not a captain. Can you count on the health? I think that the importance is not based on the player himself. I know how good of a player he is. The importance for me with Tevin Jenkins is Tevin Jenkins. Can you be on the field?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is he's going to stay healthy. Guys, all right. I got one of you guys in my top 10. I'm sorry, I didn't have Tevin Jenkins in my top 10 either. I'm going to be honest with you. Keenan Allen was right at 9 for me, so I'll talk about Keenan Allen next. But at number 10,
you didn't have to give the preview there, dog. Jesus.
I'm just sorry. It's like a movie. It's a movie coming out soon. Sorry. But Kevin Byard at 10, DB. I feel like he's important, but the least important in my top 10. And here's the reason why I say that. Obviously, he's replacing an aging Eddie Jackson. He's kind of long in the tooth himself, but he still puts up a lot of good production. You're looking at the tackling, the sure tackler, the fact that he's very good at ball hawking. He gets interceptions. And so those are two things that you can really, really count on with him. But if you were to take him out of this particular defense, I wouldn't say that they would probably lose any steam because he's kind of like that last line of defense with Jaquan Brisker. You got Jaquan right there with him at safety. That's a strong player. You got Kyler Gordon. You got Tariq Stevenson. You got Jalen Johnson. You got the two linebackers that are special, along with Jack Sanborn. You got Dexter. Like, you got all these other people in front of him, so it's almost like, well, if he's not there, we'll be fine. But the fact that we do have a Kevin Byard to replace Eddie Jackson, that's kind of like, icing on the cake. So for me, I feel like Kevin Byard is an impact, but he's not that much of he's not going to be that much of an impact. And so I look forward to seeing what he's going to do.
See, I would almost lean a different direction if you're going to throw Byard on there. Like, to me, I would almost say that he is maybe a little bit higher in that DB room because of the versatility that he brings to that DB room. And that's the one thing for me with him is that you don't have to play him and Jaquan one in the box, one not, right? Both of those guys can kind of move around. They both can roam. I think that it makes Jaquan even more deadly if he's able to stay have a more healthy season this year. I think that, it just Kevin Byard to me just accentuates everything that you want Jaquan Brisker to be. And I think that, no disrespect to Eddie, I loved Eddie. I thought Eddie Jackson was a great player when he was healthy. Eddie Jackson wasn't that healthy. And listen, Eddie don't tackle. having that confidence that, hey, if I miss this, I got my guy back here with me. I think that that's going to improve both of those guys' games this season.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see kind of how they end up utilizing all of that. Before we end up moving on to number 9, we do have to take a quick break and listen in to a word from our sponsors. Yeah, boys, we got sponsors. I came back with the Phil's
baby. I saw that.
We got to take a quick break to listen to a word from our sponsors. On the other side, we're going to keep this thing moving with 9 through 1. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to the top 10 key players for the Chicago Bears 2024-2025. We'll be right back right after this. What's happening, Bears Nation? It's your boy Pat, the designer from the Windy City Breeze, where we keep it 100 about everything Chicago Bears. Now, if you're like me, you don't just watch the game, you live it, and that's why you need to check out BetDSI. BetDSI is where it's at if you want to put your money where your mouth is. They've been doing it for over 20 years, giving you the best odds, lightning fast payouts, and a platform that's as solid as the best O-line. Whether you're betting on the Bears to take it all the way or making clutch live bets during the game, BetDSI has you covered. And here is the kicker. Just because you're rolling with the Windy City Breeze, BetDSI is hooking you up. Sign up today with the promo code WCB, and they'll give you 120% bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000. That's free money, folks, to make sure that you're winning as you back our boys in the blue and orange. So what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Head over to betdsi.eu, use the code WCB, and start turning your Bears passion into serious cash. BetDSI, where real Bears fans get it done. And that's how we do it, baby. We in, we out. We get the ad read in there. We don't take too much of your time. We get back to it. You know what I mean? Bear Don. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page if you haven't done so. We got 70 over on the YouTube side. 20 likes. Big claw. Big claw. I'm going to allow it. Big claw game. 70 over on the YouTube side. Only 20 likes on the video. Hit that like button. If you are on the X side, hit that repost button, man. I'm trying to fully train my brain over to just calling it X, even though I hate it. It's like calling it. I thought about this. Gonna sound weird. I thought about when we was on the show with Jordan that one time, and he was like, "Yeah, they changed the name of LSD to DuSable Drive." And I was listening to the freaking news this morning. And they were like, "Yeah, they're driving down DuSable Drive." I was like, "Get these mugs up out of here, bro! Nobody's going down DuSable. I'm going down LSD with Chance the Rapper."
You ain't changed the Sears Tower either, so same thing.
Yeah, I'm still on the Sears Tower, bro. Who's Willis? Can anybody tell me who Willis is? Who is Willis? I don't know who Willis is. Let's jump into number 9 on this one, boys. Top 10 Chicago Bears that are important to the 2024-2025 season. Number 9 on the list for me is Tremaine Edmunds. Tremaine got off to a little bit of a slow start last season. I think he has to get off to a much quicker start this year. He has been named a captain along with TJ Edwards. He is the mic on this defense. He is one of the main lines of defense. He has to be a sure tackler this year. How many of those big games do we talk about us losing because Tremaine Edmunds ran into somebody, literally had him right there, I got him, and fell the wrong direction, and now we're talking about them getting a first down, keeping a drive alive, moving forward. That was a big chunk of the second or the first half of the season last year, where even Lance Briggs was like, "Listen, I just need to see more out of my linebackers. I love how TJ Edwards is flying around, but Tremaine, you got to make some tackles." I think that he's a guy that can do that. Finished with 113 combined tackles. I'm sorry, total tackles combined, had 44 unassisted. Like those are the things that you just need to see more of, more consistently. I think he could have had a ton more last season along with Tremaine or along with TJ Edwards. And if you're going to be that, for lack of a better player that's done it in this defense, right? If you're going to be that Brian Urlacher of this defense, you can't miss those moments. You can't be falling the wrong way when you need to make that big tackle. You can't miss those interceptions that seem like they go right into your hands but don't always come away. And I did come away with 4 interceptions last season, which was good to see, but a lot of those came again in the second half of the season. I think that he'll be somebody who will have a lot more opportunities to get in there and try and sack the quarterback this year. I think he'll be utilized a lot in creating some of that pressure. I think that TJ Edwards and Sanborn can do some of that as well. And at the end of the day, just go out there. I'm not asking you to be Brian Urlacher, but be like Brian Urlacher. You know what I mean? Be in the right spot to make a play and then make the play, because I think he was in the right spot a lot last season. He just didn't make the play.
Yeah. All right, for me, yeah, so you already said his name, but he was number 9 on my list. So that's Keenan Allen.
And he appears. I believe in Joe Andre. Sorry, my
See, this is what we missed the last week.
Yes, it's that X factor, man. We missed that X factor, man. No, but I got Keenan Allen for all the reasons you listed, and also what I had piggybacked on as well. He's going to be the quarterback's best friend, hopefully, right? Because the expectation of DJ Moore is your go-to. The expectation is that Rome Odunze is going to grow and hopefully become your number 2 eventually. And he's growing, and he's going to be their number 3 for right now. But your safety net is Keenan Allen. He's going to be so critical and so vital for Caleb Williams to be successful with that QB room, so with that wide receiver room. So that is my number 9.
Yeah. And by the way, hopefully you guys can hear me through. I don't know because I know somebody said the static, so I switched it up with the headphones. But my number 9 is Keenan Allen, along with you guys. I know you kind of already reiterated that, for 10, and for you, number 9 teed up. So, I mean, just briefly, yeah, this is a guy who obviously is the pros pro, has been in the league for years, just came off of a 1,200-yard season in a few games. He didn't even have to play a whole season to get that production. This is a guy who is a luxury at this point, because you're talking about Rome Odunze, DJ Moore being on the team, to a lesser degree, Tyler Scott. Like, this is a player who, if he does play very well, he would obviously want a nice contract. But if he does play well, we may have the luxury of still letting him go, because we have other people that are production. Bear down, don't you read my mind. Don't you give away my pick.
If I hear a punter on this top 10 list, I'm losing.
Hey, you watch your mouth, all right? You watch your mouth. It's coming.
Lord, you're suspended.
He might be lower than you think too. But anyway, no. Keenan Allen is actually a piece that I think is important and impactful. But I mean, again, usually sometimes during the season, he may miss a few games. So I think when he's not on the field, then that's when you're going to Rome Odunze and DJ Moore, which is why we have just like an embarrassment of riches at the wide receiver position. So that's why I have him in number 9.
I think it's so interesting. We all have Keenan Allen this low. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. You know what he can do. You know how, and it's not the same. Again, he's important. He's important. What? Oh, by the way, how did we miss this here?
Oh, God, we got
over 100 in the chat. Oh boy, he's back. He is.
I am thrusting.
Meaty is back.
The meaty
That's
is
right.
It's so interesting to me that we all have Keenan Allen this low, because the value that he brings, the importance that he brings. But again, right, like you're almost hoping. I don't want to say that. I'm not hoping that Keenan Allen's not here next year, but I am hoping that Rome Odunze makes him a number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And if Rome Odunze makes him a number 3, am I paying Keenan Allen? Am I keeping Keenan Allen beyond this year? You want Keenan Allen to make things easier on Rome. You want him to, and I think, listen, if at the end of the day we get here and they're like, listen, we paying Keenan Allen friggin', what did Justin Jefferson just get? Don't pay him Justin Jefferson money. But like, if you tell me like, Keenan Allen is making $25 million a year, I'm gonna be like, that's a lot of money.
I'm a little, yeah.
But also Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna be upset.
What do you do?
Now, what
I'm gonna be a little mad at the cap. I'm gonna be a little bit like, all right, dog.
Yeah.
But also Keenan Allen.
What if he gets you over 1,000 yards too, though? What if he gets you over 1,000?
Well, that's the test right there.
He did this in 30. What he did last season is in. Let me double check this. I need to pull up the exact amount of games. I think it was 13 games.
12 or 13 games. He only put up 1,200 yards, man.
Yeah, 13 games last season.
Now, he was the main target too, though.
100%. But in 13 games, he put up 1,200. So if he plays 17 this year, could he still put up 1,200?
Right.
Super Bowl, baby.
Spread that,
you know what I'm saying?
Production.
And literally, it's like I feel like we all feel this way. I would love to have Keenan Allen here. I don't want to overpay to keep a 32-year-old at that point wide receiver. I would feel like maybe you're spending a little bit too much on Keenan Allen, but also Keenan Allen. And you've got Rome Odunze locked up to his contract at least for, I'd say, 2 more years, right? Like everybody's like, well, you got the 5th year up. You're not getting that 5th year option if he's who we think he is. Look at Jamar Chase. You're not getting to that 5th year option if he is who we think he is. So, like, to me, if you are able to get 17 games out of Keenan Allen and he still gives you a 1,200-yard, 7-touchdown season, like, are we going to sit here and just be like, yep, move on from him?
Yeah. And I don't think he's going to want to miss time because he knows what he's competing with, with DJ Moore, with Rome Odunze. So if he does want this big paycheck, he's going to have to go ahead, stomach up all these injuries that he may be experiencing and play the 17.
Stomach up. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with him. I think he's going to be a legitimate player to watch. Number 8 for me on my list of Chicago Bears that are the top 10 most important Bears to the 2024-2025 season. Boys, I'm going to the DB room because
oh boy,
there's one guy who's not going to get picked on, and that's not this guy here, because Tyreek Stevenson is going to get picked on all season long. Jalen Johnson is going to be on that side, guarding whoever the team's number 1 is, or whoever's over there, because they don't have him follow around the number 1 wide receiver on the field. Jalen Johnson is going to be standing over there. And listen, we saw it a little bit in the second half of last season. Quarterbacks kind of drop back. They look over to that left side or that right side, and they're like, he's over there. We're not going that way. Let's go over here. Tyreek Stevenson is going to be picked on a lot this season. He did come away with, again, 4 interceptions last season, but at the same time, you're talking about a guy who gave up 9 touchdowns. Now, yes, I believe 6 or 7 of those were in the first half of that season. He improved tremendously in the second half of that season, but at the end of that season, it is still 9 touchdowns on your head. You know what he can't do this season? Give up 9 touchdowns.
No.
And I don't think that he's going to do that. I think that he improved as a player. I love the tenacity of him. I thought that he figured out the combination between his physicality and actually being able to go out there and kind of when he needed to finesse and different things like that. Because early on in the season, I thought that he was just straight physicality all the time. He was just, hey. And they're like, no, it's a flag. You can't just keep hitting him in the face, bro. You gotta take some body shots every now and then. But to me, Tyreek Stevenson is going to be somebody who this season is going to be attacked a ton. And for me, I think that's why he's going to be one of the most important Chicago Bears on this team. Can he keep the PBU numbers up? Can he keep the coverage numbers up? Can he get those interceptions the way that he was able to get them last season, even though some of them were a little pop-up type of interceptions and stuff like that? Can you come away with those? Those type of plays turn the tide of the game. And he was able to do that last season. Can he do that again this year?
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah. Well, for me, what's the number 8, right? Number 8 for me is Tremaine Edmonds. So you signed this 4-year, $72 million deal, right, in free agency based on your performance in 2022. Now, of course, we know that he had a slow start and it ended up pretty strong. But the fact of the matter is that we need him to be that leader. As you said before, we need the brown skin Brian Urlacher, and for him to do that, he's going to have to revert back to his.
I don't know if Brian Urlacher likes being compared to a black guy.
I mean, he can come off light skin.
I love black. I love black, but yeah, I mean,
No, but for me, I need Tremaine Edmonds to really show that he's worth the money that we spent on him. And for that, like I said, the 2022 campaign, we need that be a repeat effect for 2024. And if he is that, and he is that leader, that's going to help the rest of those linebackers, of course, with TJ Edwards and those boys. And this is just what's going to make this defense even stronger than what it already is. So for me, number 8 is Tremaine Edmonds.
No. Oh, good picks, fellas. For me, I'm going with the 5'9" running back at number 8, formerly of the Eagles, formerly of the division rival Lions, DeAndre Swift. Hey, don't you look at me like that, Pat. The reason why.
There's not one reason why he's on my list, I guarantee.
Oh, here you go with this running back hate. I swear to God. At least we didn't put as much money into the running back game like what is it?
Philly.
Joe wanted Saquon Barkley for
Oh
twice the
yeah,
price.
yeah, yeah.
But no, DeAndre Swift, man, coming off of a Pro Bowl season, a lot of people are questioning whether or not he was a Pro Bowler because of the line that he ran behind in Philly, which was very, very good. And then you compare that line to Chicago's up and coming line, it's not really the same. And so for me, I'm expecting him to be utilized a little bit more in the passing game. I feel like Shane Waldron's going to be doing a whole lot more passing than running schemes. But still is a guy that you can rely on for 3 downs. Special talent, in my opinion, more than the guys that we've had here. But the reason why he's not lower on my list is because you have other backup running backs that can do pretty, just as good of a job, if not, Khalil Herbert. Obviously, he's proven himself here, when he was with tandem with David Montgomery. You got Roshan Johnson, who's still trying to prove himself. So you have a really good running back room with some depth. And so that's why I think, with him being here, he's going to have an impact more so in the running game, but he's not that much lower on the list because of how deep our running back room goes.
I'm not mad at the running back position.
Oh yes, you are
being brought up here because I do think there's something to be said about the benefit of having a guy that you can count on. Right, like said Hut, boom, up, nobody there, dump it down to my running back.
Yeah,
DeAndre Swift, somebody that can freaking take a 2-yard pass and turn it into a 40-yard pass. You know what I mean? So I'm not upset about that. I think your last point though for me is why the importance is less for me. I can do that with Khalil Herbert. I can do that with, if he ever is able to get healthy, Roshan Johnson, at least in my mind.
Yeah,
and so. Yeah, there will be no running backs making my list over here. Number 7.
That's why I didn't have him on my list either. I'll be honest with you.
No love for the backs, man.
Pablo said Pat definitely mad at the running back position. Not mad at it. It's just expensive,
on, man.
He's expendable,
love.
Unfortunately.
7 of them mugs. He got 7 of them mugs. Man. Just saying. We still looking at a left tackle. We still got questions at right guard.
Yeah, man.
A lot of questions on that. Gervon Dexter is number 7 for me. I think that the young man is incredibly important. And I made this list kind of going through it, looking at, okay, who are going to be the guys that are going to have the most value? Maybe Dexter is a little bit low. I could see why people might view that him as a little bit low. But the reason that I threw him in at 7 is because I think that his importance to this defense is key. I think it's paramount. We know what the 3 tech is in this defense, right? I mean, like, hit the button if you haven't heard 3 tech a million times. Hit that like button if you haven't heard the 3 tech be brought up with this team a million times. And he's somebody who had a subpar rookie year. He just did. You wanted more from him. He didn't really hit the ground running. He had to adjust his brain. I talked about that with him when we did an interview with him over on the Chicago Bears podcast, where we kind of talked to him about having to adjust your brain from that penetrating or from a 2-gap system to a penetrating style system. And he said, I literally spent the first half of last season trying to figure out, was I doing this the right way? Because it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like I was doing things the right way. It didn't feel like I was in the right spot because I hadn't done that for a long time, especially at my time in Florida. So now that he's gotten that feel, now that he's got that get up and go, now he's getting off the ball a lot quicker, and he's kind of figuring out how, this dude, I mean, like, he's a giant, bro. Like,
yeah.
Like, I remember just standing there, sitting next to him, and I was like, hey, bro, man, we got to get different size chairs in here. Like, he need the lower one. Because you got me out here getting, well, I'm
Get
not
the little
short.
side action.
Bro, yeah, I mean, I was sitting there, I'm like, I'm not short, dog. Like, this is nuts right now. But I think the main thing that you take away from having Gervon Dexter in the middle is that you get a guy who can bring consistent pressure up the middle, who can constantly be in the quarterback's face, who can force other guys to have better careers, have a better season. I don't know about careers. Have a better season this year. He's that kind of player, right? He is the Tommy Harris. Take a shot for Joel. He is the Henry Meltons, right? Like, his presence is going to be it has to be massive on this team. I still think that there are guys that are more important because I think they're more safety blankets to Caleb Williams. But as I start to get into more offensive guys on this list, you still got to get those important guys in the defense. I think that you don't have a elite top 5 defense like they keep saying without Gervon Dexter.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I have him on my list too, but a little bit, a little bit further down. So for me, the next player on my list is Cole Kmet. Obviously, Cole is our number one tight end, even though we just picked up a tight end in all season. But I think that, again, another safety valve, right? You already got DeAndre Swift as a safety valve. Your biggest safety valve is going to be Keenan Allen, as he's probably going to be playing in the slot, or he's versatile. He could play anywhere really on that line. But Cole Kmet has a chance to really grow into a top tier, maybe top 5 tight end. And with the amount of attention that the other receivers are going to be receiving, I think it's possible he can get top 5. So wait, who's your top 5?
Travis Kelce,
top 5 tight ends
one.
right
Sam
now.
Laporta,
Yeah.
Mark Andrews,
Okay.
T.J. Hawkinson,
Yeah.
Trey McBride.
Yeah.
You don't see him
I
jumping
don't
on those?
know if he getting up there.
I'm
The only
missing a
thing
few,
with
I'm
Cole,
pretty
and
sure.
I got Cole, I've got Cole next on my list actually, so it's not. We can have a conversation about it. Like the only thing with Cole for me that I don't see him getting top 5, and it's not to say I don't think that he can be a solid player. Is those top 5 guys? The theme with them is like they catch the ball and keep running. Cole catch the ball and Cole hit the ground.
Yeah, it seemed like he can't run through tackles as big as he is.
I think he can run through tackles, but I think he looks to like play it safe.
Okay.
Which is fine when you a giant, like throwing the football down low. I don't care about you playing it safe.
But for me, like if he's in that end zone, bro, and you got that, what is he? What 6'4", 6'5" ish, something like that.
6'6".
6'6".
I was gonna say Cole Kmet is all of 6'6", my boy.
Yeah, so that big target in the end zone, man. So it's very possible that Cole Kmet can give you 1 or 2 touchdowns a game just because he's the biggest target in the end zone. So for me, having him as a safety valve, I'm just dreaming of the idea of Caleb Williams running away from a player, spins out in the back and run towards the end zone, do one of his jump man throws, and then there's Cole Kmet right there catching the ball like this. I mean, so the weapons on our team is so strong. This is why I have Cole Kmet right there as well.
Now, I do think that is possible. I do agree with you on that. I think that there is a real chance for Cole Kmet to be that end zone threat. But I feel like if you're going to put Cole Kmet in the top 5, those usually aren't just red zone threats. Those are usually elite receivers. Those are your Travis Kelce's, where it's like, why the heck is this guy always open? Yeah, those are your I'd say Jimmy Graham's, right? Like those guys where you're sitting there, you're like, this dude is as dangerous as a receiver as he is as a freaking tight end. And he just got too heavy to play wide receiver. That's really all that happened.
Yeah.
What you got, JC?
All right, for me. So number 7, I have a guy who, and again, I'm gonna go to the line this time because if we're talking about what's most important in making sure that we succeed, getting wins, making sure Caleb's protected, I'm going with the 6'5" center that we picked up in free agency, Coleman Shelton. Coleman Shelton, to me, he symbolizes obviously what we need: stability at a position that was unstable for the last couple of years. We were interchanging. Who do we have? We just had a bunch of just random people there that didn't even know how to snap the ball at the very least.
Had a Lucas Patrick on that mug.
Had a Lucas. We had the former left guard from Kansas State. I can't remember his name now. I know he was a Pro Bowler in the beginning on the line.
Cody Whitehair?
Cody Whitehair took snaps at center. Like we just did all types of just clown shows there.
For you to remember that he went to Kansas State right there.
Yeah, it just for me, it's like this needs to get stable. Even if this isn't the guy for the next 10 years, let's have somebody put here that can actually do the basics. Give our quarterback about 3 to 4 seconds to scan the field, throw the ball away, dump it off, and hike the ball. My goodness, please hike the ball correctly. So Coleman Shelton, I feel like he's important on this list. He's not that important because, of course, when Ryan Bates gets back healthy, that's a guy that also we mentioned being there at center as well. So, that's interchangeable. I'm not saying we're looking for the next Olin Kreutz between these two guys. We know that isn't the level of talent we have there, but be serviceable, be above, a little bit above average, or at least be average. Okay, we want average play at center, and that's what I'm looking for from Coleman Shelton.
I would say this actually though, like I don't know if you guys saw the unofficial depth chart get dropped today, but Ryan Bates is on it as the backup right guard.
Whoa. All right, so he's back to his normal position.
I told y'all he looks like a backup right guard.
You did call that a while ago. I was debating center
And
all
at this
the
point,
time.
listen, you're at week 1 of the season. You're not going to go out there and be like, Coleman, you lost your job, right? Like it's the center to quarterback's connection. You're not going to do that. But I thought that was very, very eye-opening today when I saw that, because I literally was sitting there like, ooh. Because Ryan Bates came back. They've done nothing. They've done minimal stuff. But he came back, kind of went through the walkthrough, went through some of the slow processes. But he is the backup right guard on the depth chart. And I hate to tell y'all this, it's probably what he's going to be.
I'm fine with that.
He's a right guard. And he's not even a starting right guard. Like, literally, when he was out there, I was like, he looks like a backup right guard.
Yeah.
So I like his scripts at a bare minimum. You know how to play the dang position.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah. That's all we asking.
That's all
we asking. Like, and I will say this about you having Coleman Shelton on the list there. I think that is the minimum you get with him. That is the one thing that you are going to get with Coleman Shelton. He knows how to play the center position. He has played it over 1,000 snaps. He is a center. And that's the best that you can take from where you're kind of heading right now. Number 6, my number 6 was the same as you, JC. I had Cole Kmet. Or not JC, I'm sorry, C-Dub. My number 6, I had Cole Kmet as my number 6. And kind of all the reasons you said, but Raging, who's backup center? That would be Doug Kramer, my boy. We're not in a good place. Not in a good center place. It is.
We're not in a good place.
Not in a good center place. I'm nervous. Yeah, I mean, listen, I wasn't a huge Coleman Shelton guy, bro. Like, listen, y'all know what I say. If you're a good center, you don't get cut and then signed for minimal money.
Yeah, that's true.
So I wasn't a huge Coleman Shelton guy in the beginning, but if you're gonna have him, I mean, he does play center. But if he goes down, we got some woes, shall we say? Number 6 for me was Cole Kmet. And it's kind of a lot of the things that you said there, Dub. But the one thing for me that I think makes him the most important is I don't know if Cole can be a top 5 tight end in the NFL. But I know that Cole's a safety blanket. I know that if I'm on 3rd down, I can find Cole. I know that if I'm in the red zone and I'm trying to make a play and I'm moving my feet around, I'm trying to sign the guy and I'm getting an extra block over here. Okay, there it is. Yeah. There's a giant in the middle of the field. I'm gonna just lob this up to him. He's got a good vertical. He's got a big body, 260 on Cole Kmet, 6'6". He's able to move people out of his way. His hands have gotten softer. I know that sounds crazy to say, but there was a reason that Joel used to call him Stone Hands Kmet. The ball literally used to just hit his hands and bounce off.
Way better
I
now.
think when you talk about red zone targets, last season he had 6 receiving touchdowns. Don't be surprised if Cole Kmet is one of those guys that can be a double-digit touchdown guy this season. Or maybe the yards don't match up. He had 719 yards last season. I would say he may struggle to reach 700 yards this year. But he could be a double-digit touchdown type of guy.
Yeah. A better quarterback play, too, so that could increase his stats as well.
Well, yeah, listen, it always helps if you get, massive yards from a huge throw from Caleb Williams down the middle of the field. Let's hope that we get as many of those as we possibly can. But I think the thing is he's finally going to get utilized as a real tight end. And that to me excites me. That's my number 6. Who y'all got for number 6, boys?
Number 6, I got Javon Dexter Sr. Now, obviously, for all the same reasons you've listed already before, but since we lost Justin Jones in the offseason for nothing and really didn't replace him or add any kind of depth to that tackle position, the defensive tackle position, now I'm really looking forward to seeing this guy take the next step. He has to. And this task with Eric Washington is going to be tasked with trying to make him a better player to get to the quarterback to be able to run those schemes. So I definitely think Javon Dexter is going to be so key and important on that defensive line. I'm hoping he makes the next step.
Yep. It's crazy. We're thinking the same on this one. I have Javon Dexter as well. This is a guy who, like you mentioned, they're putting all the chips in on him. They struck out a few times in free agency. You know, they kind of dabbled looking for, you know, somebody that was a little bit more superior, already more established in the league, like Chris Jones. They also kind of looked for Justin Madubuike, who got signed. I believe he's not even Justin Madubuike anymore. I believe he goes by his African name now, the Simba Madubuike or something like that.
Did he switch it up? Did he throw a new little wrench in there? He was like,
he's got they said that he went back to his African first name, so it's some. I think it's the Simba.
Not mad at a Simba,
you deliberately disobeyed.
Yeah.
Okay, dog.
But I mean, you know, you struck out multiple times. There were a few other names that we mentioned that they were trying to get at the defensive tackle because, as you already said, Pat, 3 technique is when you got that down, that this defense can be special. We've seen that in the past, and so for me, Javon Dexter just has to work on, you know, a lot of different things. He came in very, very in shape, as you already said. Standing next to him, the man is a giant, in shape. I mean, he really committed himself to an off-season program of becoming leaner, becoming stronger. But one of the things I want to see from him is working on his pad level. That's one of the things I think that going in, he didn't do well in his rookie season. Is he was always attacking a little bit too high, which, you know, kind of takes some of your strength away coming from the inside. And so, I mean, as strong as he is, that would help, you know, for him to kind of attack a little bit lower so he can get to the quarterback.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing that he really needs to kind of learn. And Andrew Billings talked about that as well when we asked him about it. He basically was like, listen, he can't get as low as I can because he's much more bigger than I am. But the thing that he can do is, you know, when the pad level maybe isn't there and guys do get up under him, he's a giant. Stand up, put your hands up, knock the football away. We saw that. I'm telling you, like in practice, we probably saw that once a game. Once a practice, if not more. Even when they pads on, pads off, whatever it was, Javon Dexter found his way to get his hand on the ball, tip the football, and you know, create different kinds of plays, different kinds of turnovers based off of that, right? Like we saw that happen, I think, at the second half of the first game they played in. So is that the Bengals game? I don't remember what the first game they played in was anymore. But the second half of the first game they were in, you know, you saw Javon be able to get his hands up and you know, make an impact there. I think that those are things to me that when you look at what he's going to be able to provide on the field on a consistent basis, that to me is the thing that is my daughter's just calling me. What's up, baby? What's wrong?
We got baby girl
she just daddy. I'm like, I'm down here. Go upstairs with your mama.
Brought to you by Daddy Priority.
Yeah, daddy got a daddy daycare. It was the cry of like, where's your mama at? Hold on now, something wrong. But no, I just think that when you talk about Javon as an impact guy, that's the way that I think he's going to impact the field the most. Hand in the air, being able to knock the football away. My number 5 right now. Give me a Jalen Johnson.
Ooh, all right.
Really excited about a Jalen Johnson out here.
Nah.
Because I think that he is going to be one of those guys that just takes away an entire side of the field. And when you talk about a player who is going to be able to make an impact, when you talk about a player who is going to be able to throw off what quarterbacks want to do, as my baby is in the room.
Hey.
She just decided she want to just come through and watch the show.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
But when you talk about a player who is going to throw off how quarterbacks want to attack you, I don't think there's anybody that epitomizes that more than Jalen Johnson. When you look at the PBU numbers, when you look at the coverage numbers, when you look at what he's able to do outside of the interceptions, and then last season you add in him being able to go out there and intercept the football. You know, I think he came away with 4 interceptions on the season. Probably should have had about 7.
Yeah.
Catch the football a little bit more. Yeah, catch football a little bit better. It'd be nice.
Yeah.
But when you talk about a DB just making that level of impact on a consistent basis, I don't think there's one more on this team that epitomizes that than Jalen Johnson. And so for me, he's the 5th most important Chicago Bear on this team.
We're in lockstep, buddy, because the number 5 most important, impactful player is Jalen Johnson for all the reasons you named, but also the fact that he's possibly the league's best cornerback. And the one thing that he does that kind of reminds me in a similar way, but not the same, with Peanut Tillman. Peanut Tillman put fear in the heart of guys who was carrying that ball between the arms. And if you carrying the arm between the arms of Peanut Tillman, he's punching that ball out. With Jalen Johnson, you're not throwing that way. You're not going to throw that way. That's intimidation. And that's what I love about Jalen Johnson. He also is going to elevate other players like Tyreek Stevenson because of that fear in the heart of the quarterback who knows, okay, if I throw it this way, this guy is a good cover, and not only a great cover, he is possibly going to intercept the ball. I don't want to give him an interception, which is why he only had 4 last year, because they didn't just want to throw his way. That intimidation factor is why Jalen Johnson is the 5th most important player on the team.
Yeah.
I love it. That's a very good name. I almost went with Jalen Johnson, but I'm gonna go with his buddy in crime, Tariq Stevenson here at number 5 for me, because I think that if Tariq Stevenson, to me, looks to be a more talented overall player when he finally puts it all together than Jalen Johnson, and that's saying a lot. Because I know we talk about Jalen Johnson as being a guy that, man, he can pretty much take out one half of the field. He's very good at one-on-one defense, very good at zone, very good at pass breakups. Interception obviously went up. But if you're talking about Tariq Stevenson, I feel like Tariq Stevenson can do a little bit more when it comes to the aggressive tackling. I think he's a better tackler than Jalen Johnson. So if you add all those other aspects of what a cornerback does, taking away a side of the field, if Tariq Stevenson is like Jalen Johnson 2.0 on steroids, who are you going to throw to? You're going to throw the slot in Kyler Gordon. Kyler Gordon's going to start eating then, because Kyler Gordon's not somebody to just look past. So that's why I think that he can impact, or he's going to be as much of an impact on this team as those other DBs. I'm looking for him to have a special season and kind of solidify himself as a top cornerback.
Only question I would have on that, not to say Tyreek can't be great. I think that Tyreek is going to be a really good player. I think he's a great pick by Ryan Poles. But the only question that I would have on that is if Tyreek is a better tackler, or we've seen him tackle more, it's because he's had to tackle guys.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Jalen Johnson has been in a ton of positions where he's had to tackle
more opportunities for sure.
So you say it's more opportunity than anything.
I think Jalen just knocks the football away. Yeah. Like there's a reason the reason that guys don't attack Jalen Johnson has nothing to do with him being a ball hog. It's because I'm more concerned that the football is not going to get through on his side. He could tip it up in the air, somebody else could grab it. Listen, I'm glad that Jalen Johnson got the interception numbers. I think that he can maintain that if there's continued pressure. But at the end of the day, Jalen Johnson can't catch.
Like not a wide receiver
with gloves on. Yeah,
he can't.
Yeah.
Listen, he had better interception numbers last season. That's why you pay him. But Jalen Johnson is going to drop probably another 4 or 5 interceptions this year.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah.
It's a lot.
And you know what, though? The ball is still not going to get through. He's going to knock the football away. He's going to cover wide receivers to the point that they are going to struggle. He's going to make your best wide receiver have a tough day. Doesn't mean he's going to shut him down. I don't know if he's right, like shutting down Justin Jefferson. He's had a good game versus him, bad game versus him. But Jalen Johnson is going to drop the football. People aren't throwing his way because they're like, well, the ball's not getting through. And I know I can get the ball through on Tyreek on this side. I don't know if I can give Tyreek better than Jalen, or that he can be better than Jalen, until they start to look at him in that manner. Because the reason Tyreek's tackling people so much is because the ball's getting through. So I don't know. That's just me. It's high praise from you. High praise from you on
hey,
that.
Man. Hey.
Number 4 on my list is the young fella. Give me Darnell Wright. Number 4 on the list. By the way, if you have not done so, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do, man. Give me Darnell Wright on that right side. Darnell Wright came out, had a tough injury that he was playing through the entire season, was able to go out there and, basically with an arm and a half is what it has been described as, and be able to go out there and play. Still was able to make great impact. I think that you need to see, and if you do see more out of Darnell Wright this season, he may end up being one of those players who we talk about heading into next season as do you try and flip him around? Because how much are you going to pay a right tackle? Would you rather have him on the left side if he can make that kind of transition? To me, Darnell Wright is a monster on that right side. I think if you're running to the right, he's an absolute road grader. He's a guy that you want to have in front of him. He's got that Tevin Jenkins in him, right? Remember when Tevin Jenkins told Caleb Williams, like, just follow me, bro. Come on, follow me. Everyone will be dead in front of you. You don't have to worry about anything.
Nobody even challenged them.
They'll be dead. Don't worry about it. Like Tevin didn't have to hit anybody on that play and still ended up hitting somebody. Like, so for me, I think that Darnell Wright is that kind of player. I need to see that growth continue, though. I love the hype that we've got on him. I love the excitement that we've got on him. I watch Montez Sweat kill this young man every day. Now, it could be just Montez Sweat.
Yeah,
because Montez Sweat is also on my list, and clearly he's in the top 3. I think that he's that elite of a player. It could just be that you got Montez Sweat on the other side. But I watched him get killed a lot versus guys like Montez Sweat. And there are guys in this NFL that he's going to face that, as much as I love Montez Sweat, are better than Montez Sweat. And so you got to be able to protect Caleb in those moments. And so for me, number 4 on this list is Darnell Wright.
Yeah, I think as we get into the end of this list, I think we all pretty much have the same lineup. Darnell Wright is the number 4 most important. Okay, all right. Well, we'll see. Darnell Wright is
those are good words in my mouth.
Didn't say the magic words. No, but Darnell Wright Darnell Wright is the 4th most important player on this list for every reason you just named, Pat. Man, like the fact that he played through that shoulder injury for the better half of the last half of the season last year was impressive. Just shows that he has the toughness. But what we really need to see is him make the next step in his development and to be able to stay healthy the rest of the season. Health is just key for this team, really, man. Like if we could just be fortunate and have good health, no telling where we can go as far as upwards. But for me, I think Darnell Wright, for every reason you already mentioned, and just him staying healthy, but Darnell Wright is the 4th most important player.
What you got it for, my guy?
All right. Well,
I swear to God, it's the kicker.
Hey! Whoa! Oh, it's not a kicker. It's not the kicker. It's the punter.
Oh,
no. Let's.
Wait, where's Joel's credit? Where's Joel's credits at?
That has retired.
They're not on here no more. He took them off.
Oh, shit.
He got tired of us hitting the credits on him.
So at number 4, I do have a guy that you all probably will be surprised that this is your guy, Pat. But here's the reason why I have him so low, and I have him actually on this list. I got the rookie Austin Booker. Now, just let me explain. I know that may come as a surprise. Maybe he should have been a little bit higher.
High for Austin Booker, and that's my guy.
That's very high.
But let's just say, in a world where Austin Booker gets at the very least 7-8 sacks during this season, and he solidifies himself as the opposite starter of Montez Sweat because of everything that he's shown since we've seen him this preseason. Hair on aggressiveness, the way he attacks the quarterback. There was a game where he played against a top left tackle. Name escapes me, but I mean, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd preseason game, and he held his own. A decent amount of pass rush moves, a decent amount of length, athleticism. If Austin Booker gets, I want to say, close to 10 sacks this season, this defensive line is pretty much good for the next 10 years without us having to go out and get anybody else. We heard about, the Matt Judon experience where we tried to get him. He's over the hill. He's somebody who's coming back from injury. You heard through the Hard Knocks episode that, hey, we got this guy on a 4-year contract. We got Austin Booker. So what if he already produces like some of the best in the league? He definitely has the desire to be great. You can tell he has the work ethic. And so alongside Montez Sweat, who I think is going to be even better than what he showed coming in last year with the 6.5 sacks. I mean 6.5 sacks with the Bears, that is. I think that Austin Booker is going to really, really impact this team from the defensive line.
But that's high for Book. That's high for Book.
It's high. It's high. But
I'm not saying that I don't. I'm not saying I don't agree that he can make that impact, but are you putting that weight on him already?
I think he wants it.
You know what I mean? Hey yo.
I mean, hey,
snap!
slacks around here. Sorry, that was bad.
What was
That was bad.
What'd you just say? No, I think that when you talk about at least in my book, it's your list. You roll it out the way you want to. At least in my book,
My list.
yeah, there's Steph. When you talk about importance of a player,
yeah,
I think that means that you are coming in expecting that of that player. And maybe you are. I'm not expecting anything from Austin Booker just yet. I'm expecting him to be a raw talent that I think has some really good pass rush moves already. And he can go out there and make flash plays. Now, for him to be an every down guy out there, I think you got to be a little bit better on the run. I don't think he set the run well enough in preseason for him to be that guy just yet. I think there's an opportunity for him to do that, but there's just more that you need to see out of his game. But he's a rookie that can develop. Maybe you do throw him out there, right? And see, hey, look, he keeps showing it in practice. He keeps showing it versus the best of the best. Go out there and see what he's able to prove. And when I asked Flus about that, right, do you want to see him versus the best guys that you can see him against? He was like, yeah, I think that he's earned that right. So maybe we do see him out there in a starting role, especially with how they rotate those guys in and out. Number 3 on my list is that guy opposite. Third most important Bear in the 2024-25 season for me, Montez Sweat, ladies and gentlemen. A killer, dominant. You know what he brings. You know how he's able to attack. I think that he is going to be one of the best pass rushers in the NFL this season. I think that he is going to be able to do some really good things. And I know people are going to be like, well, they're going to double team him. I don't think that Javon Dexter is going to allow that. And I think that if you give him those one-on-ones, and this is not a slight on Khalil Mack, when you give him those one-on-ones and like a chip comes, he finds his way to the quarterback still. That's something we didn't have with the guy we had in that position before, who was Khalil Mack. And so for me, Montez Sweat, number 3, I mean, sacks and pressure on the quarterback are going to be the most important thing this season for the DBs to continue to thrive. And now teams have tape on you. It's not going to be a surprise that Montez Sweat's in the backfield like that. Teams have tape on how they're going to utilize him in this defense. Can he still be that level of impact player? He was still able to do it in preseason, but again, preseason very vanilla, different defenses, stuff like that. So that's my number 3.
Yep. Lockstep. Montez Sweat, best defensive player on the team. Montez Sweat, the guy that led 2 different teams last year in sacks, 6 with 6.5 with the Commanders, 6 with us, 12.5 total sacks. The guy literally changed the way the cornerbacks were ever able to play. The defensive line was barely getting any pressure last year. He comes in, and then there's 19 takeaways in the final 7 games of the season. All the stats and all the numbers prove why Montez Sweat was so important last year and will be the 3rd most important player this year. He needs to continue to do what he's already doing, continue creating that pressure that he does. So that way, the more pressure he gets, the better for the cornerbacks. They can't do their job well if he doesn't do his job well. So hopefully he stays healthy. Again, here we are with health. Health is just everything. If this guy gets hurt, man, then what do we really have? Austin Booker, right? But I mean, other than that, what do we really have? You know, so this is why he's so key, because he needs to be healthy. He needs to be just as effective as last year. And this is why he's number 3 on my list.
Yeah, no, if Montez Sweat goes down, we in trouble.
Done.
Oh my God, yeah, I didn't even think of that angle. But hey, we're 3 for 3, boys. I am with you guys. This is where I think we do have more so the same people in the top 3. Montez Sweat is my guy as well, coming off a 12.5 sack season, as you mentioned. C-Dub, leader in sacks for 2 teams, is amazing. I do want to say, since we're talking about a player that we know for sure will impact the game, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this will be his best sack season of his career. I think he will be that special this year with all of the other good players that we picked up, with the possibility of who I mentioned previously in Austin Booker, with the possibility of DeMarcus Walker having a decent season, with the possibility of Javon Dexter Sr. being that 3 tech that we need on the inside. Obviously, we know what Big Billings can do, shoring up that inside interior as well. So I think Montez, what am I, Elmer Fudd? Montez Sweat my twist.
My
I think
twist,
that
twist.
he's going to have a very, very good season, impacting, rushing the quarterback, pressures, sacks, quarterback hits, pass breakups, whatever the case may be. Like, he is going to lead this team to some wins just off of this play alone.
Down to the final two, boys. And there's
Uh,
two names that we haven't said. Let's just talk about our two the same here. Number 2, I've got DJ Moore. Number 1, I've got Caleb Williams. Anybody got a different list than that?
Yep,
I'll be honest with you.
I got a different list.
Okay, all
I have
right,
a
all right.
different
Well,
list.
number 2,
Oh,
I got
he-
DJ Moore.
he put
Okay,
the-
all right, okay. All right.
Put the shades
Okay.
on now.
Number 2
2, I
is
got
definitely
falling
DJ
out this
Moore.
season.
Number 2 is DJ Moore, but number
Okay.
1
Wait, what?
is none other than Velus.
Oh no! Hey, wait! I forgot.
No
about that.
Velus, no.
Sorry,
forgot
boys. I had
about
to.
that.
I apologize for that. I didn't know what was going on.
Where's Paris at with this jersey? He
Right.
gotta hurry up and get
Somebody
this man his
get this
jersey.
guy out of here.
I made a mistake. I didn't mean to say
He's
Velus.
milking this whole jersey
I
win.
didn't mean to say Velus. Number 1 is none other than Justin.
All right. So
He's on Pittsburgh now. What are we doing?
like I was gonna say, I mean, JC, what you got there?
Jesus Christ, man. I thought I was trolling with Tory Taylor. Anyway, number 2, man, I got Jalen Johnson. I didn't mention Jalen Johnson before, but I have Jalen Johnson, and the reason being is usually after people get their money, what do we usually see?
Little regression.
Little drop off, little regression. Okay, hey, I don't want to do too much. I got my money. Let's stay safe. Let's kind of just be, stay in the comfort zone. No, now that Johnson got into the bag and he rewarded himself, he got more picks. I expect him to continue that play. You don't want to kind of have a slip off like Jair Alexander. After he got the bag, you kind of saw a little bit less in production. And so for me, we're looking for, I don't want to call it Johnson Island. Nobody else likes that name, apparently. Hey, I'm just saying that was thrown out there. I guess Johnson Island is not going to stick. So we're going to.
Oh, snap.
I didn't come up with that name. Somebody else said it. But
that sounds like something we can't talk about on YouTube.
Oh boy. All right. So anyway, Jalen Johnson, I think, is going to continue his progress as being one of the best, if not the best, cornerbacks according to PFF, and we're going to have a crazy defense led by him. Now you're talking about Montez Sweat being the guy that leads the defense. I think that Jalen Johnson is the leader, because of the amount of years he's been here and just the fact that he can shut down a whole half of the field.
I'm not mad at it. I think that Jalen Johnson is a great name to have on the list. I think that's a solid pick. Did you have DJ Moore on your list?
No, I didn't.
Really?
No, I didn't. I know. Hey.
Pat about to fade to black.
see, and that, and you could say, okay, I should have had DJ Moore where I put Austin Booker at 4, but I didn't.
He's top 2, top 3.
It's an interesting list.
It's my list, all right. It's my list. I like
an interesting list. Threw Austin Booker on there and not DJ Moore.
Right.
You should have
I
kicked
feel like
him
that
off
was more of an
the screen,
oversight than anything else. I feel like
No, it wasn't an
worse
oversight, all right? Because if
than
we're
my
going to be
Justin
honest, Tory
Fields
Taylor's
Bayless
just
tape.
as impactful as anybody when he kicks the ball down at the 5-yard line, all right? Don't you
No,
dismiss
well, I mean,
Tory
listen,
Taylor.
we can't deflect to Tory Taylor stuff here. So DJ Moore is not one of your top 10 most important Bears this season.
No, not on my list.
That's crazy.
If you want to do 1B, 1A, sure, I'll put him there. But no.
No, I mean, listen, it's your list. You got 10 dudes
Look,
more important than
y'all
him.
can grill me all you want. I'm sticking with
I
what
didn't say
said.
nothing.
I stand on business. I'm like Paris, all right? I stand on business even if I'm wrong.
I think that may be the case in this situation. No, listen, my 2 and my 1. My 2 is DJ Moore. My number 1, I mean, listen, we're all in on it. It's Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is the most important piece to this team. And I know people are going to be like, but there's offensive linemen that are more important than Caleb Williams. Yes and no. Yes, the offensive line has to be good for Caleb Williams to be the player that we hope that he's going to be. But there's also an aspect of this where, and maybe you go Caleb Williams / Shane Waldron, there's also an aspect of this where you have to say that if the play calling is done the right way, the offensive linemen that are ahead of Caleb Williams, not to say they become less important, but they become less of an impact on the certain plays that are called, right? So if you call a naked boot to the right where Caleb's out there in no man's land and you're getting that, using his mobility, using his legs to his advantage. Yes, the offensive line is still important there, but at that point, you're putting Caleb out there on an island to make plays, and we see that they want to use some of those nakeds with him. If you're running boss, right, your running back is kind of the most important person there. You still need the offensive line is still incredibly important in running boss, but I just think that when it comes to rundowns, we know what this offensive line can do. Like to me, with the plays that you're trying to run with Caleb Williams, with how it seems like Shane Waldron is going to call plays, it's not going to put Caleb in a bad position play in and play out. And so for me, I think that Caleb Williams is the most important piece on this. Can you go out there? And at the end of the day, no matter who, except for JC's, I don't know about his list, but no matter who's on that top 10 list for you, rely on those guys. And that's what it comes down to. Rely on the guys that you have out there that are the playmakers. Rely on the, like Ryan Poles said, don't go out there and try and be the Superman show.
Yeah.
Go out there and utilize the team that Ryan Poles built. Give Ryan Poles some credit for building this team. Use his players. To me, that is why Caleb Williams to me is the most important person on this list.
As we agree on this last number, this 6'1", 215-pound quarterback out of UFC. This man is
Miller Moss.
This man is the future. This man was going to bring us to the promised land. The most important player since Brian Urlacher. Caleb Williams is him.
Not Khalil Mack?
No, Khalil.
I feel like there's been a lot of players that had that level of importance but didn't live up to it.
Yeah, Khalil didn't live up to it, but
yeah, he did.
Not to the level.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was having this conversation with Muzz the other day. The best game we ever saw of Khalil Herbert is the first game we ever saw of Khalil Herbert.
Khalil Mack? You talking about Green Bay?
I'm sorry,
that
Khalil Mack.
First game we all was
Green
singing,
Bay?
Green Bay. That's the best game we ever saw, and we lost.
But you got a guy that is potentially transcendent. You got a guy that has the city riled up and ready to possibly make another Super Bowl appearance. This kid has intangibles and skill sets that we, Chicago, have never seen. He is by far the most electrifying quarterback we have ever seen.
He going into his wrestling bag now.
Yeah, he's going into wrestling.
The most electrifying man.
The most electrifying man in all of entertainment. His name is C-Dub, Caleb Williams.
Okay, all right.
I had to throw that in there, but we do got the same initials. But the whole point of the matter is that this kid has a lot on his shoulders. He's already named as a captain. The first time the Bears ever named a rookie as a captain for their team. And obviously the players voted on this. So the players are voting on this. They're telling you what type of leadership this kid provides. And he's only, 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
So at this young of an age, with all this pressure on him, and you hear his interviews, he just sounds calm, cool, and collected. This kid is ready to take us to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, strap in your seatbelts, put on your boots. We're ready to we're ready to get in this rocket ship and go off to the moon, baby, because Caleb Williams is going to take us there. And all you have to do is sit back and enjoy the ride.
Did you say strap on and jump on a rocket
ship?
Strap
on your seatbelt. Put on your boots. Get ready to get on this rocket ship.
Hey, yo, hey, to the moon. Yo, hey.
We going to the moon. Yeet. I'm just saying. We going.
That's what happened when you let mugs that don't know where the end is talk too long. That's what happened right there. He didn't know where he was ending it at. You got to strap on your boots and jump on the right. Is JC crying?
Strap on your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. We in for a ride, baby. We in for a ride of a lifetime.
All right, we got to get out of here before we lose our sponsorships. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. The show.
Caleb Williams. That's all I'm gonna say.
Caleb Williams.
That's all I'm gonna say. I have no explanation.
Y'all let us know your top 10 list for the Chicago Bears, man. Who are the 10 most important Bears in your book? Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Leave that 5-star review. Y'all know.
Hey, we ready, man. We ready. This is
as always, man. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. With the wildest man in the building, C-Dub, and Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. One love.
Strap on your boots.
Strap on
your boots is crazy, dog.
Depending on the kind of boots you got, you might need to strap them on.
I don't think that's how that works, bro.
Hey. Oh my God.
That was nuts.